Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Shimmer Read. Today I'll be doing a reading vlog. Before I get started, if you're new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below as well as hit the notification bell. And if you're new, hi, hello, I'm Stephanie and I do a lot of bookish content. Today I'm going to do a reading vlog, which I haven't done in a very long time, so I'm a little rusty with how I film my reading vlogs, but I am going to my friend's place. We usually have a reading day that we do every month, and we usually pick books that we both have and we would just read together. So I have a couple different books because we have some backups of backups. So let's just share the books that I am planning to read today, or hoping to read today, with my friend. We'll see how the day goes because sometimes we finish a book, sometimes I DNF it, sometimes she DNF it, and then we'll read a different book or something like that. So yeah, I have a couple books. So the first one over here is what we got from ALA, which is the one that we're both hoping to read first, and that is The Maid and the Monster by Maddie Martinez. This one's supposed to be like a Jewish folklore with like sapphic romance, I want to say. So we'll see how this one goes. It's pretty short, so I hope to finish it, or we hope to finish it today. Then we have a backup plan of Little Thieves that we originally picked before ALA, but we just haven't had a chance to do a reading day together since ALA. So we have also this as a backup. This one's a little bit of a chunker, so we'll see how far we get to this one, if we get to this one. Then in addition to all of that, we have another backup, Shadow the Fox, because I remember her saying let's read this one a couple weeks ago, so I'm gonna bring this in case we feel like being in the mood for this one. All I know is that this is a YA fantasy, obviously about foxes, and it's like Japanese like shapeshifters and lore and all of that, so I'm really excited for this one as well. Then in case something crazy happens and I just don't like any of the books, I have a backup of a backup of a backup, and that is The Raven Scholar by Andrea Hodgson. I have the Illumicrit edition, I want to say, so it is stunning. This one, I just started this last night. I'm only one chapter in. I will say I'm not loving it, but I also am only one chapter in, and all the reviews so far online have been like really raving about this book and how it's like an amazing epic fantasy, yada yada. So I'm hoping that I will continue this book and will really enjoy it, but that's kind of my backup of a backup of a backup if we don't like Maiden and the Monster and we just like cycle through the books. So I have 4 books I'm bringing to our place. I also am bringing some goodies because we'll be snacking there for most of the day until we finish at least one of the books. But yeah, let's head to my friend's place now. The angle is not the greatest, but this is actually future stuff because I wanted to add this clip on before I actually jump into the reading vlog, since I want to give you some synopsis of what this book is about. So the book follows a woman, her name is Malka, where her and her mother and her family, 2 little sisters and her father, lives in a little village, and the forest next to that village, for some reason, for the past couple of years, has resided some sort of monster that eats women. For some reason, men are fine, but they come out of the forest changed somehow. Anyways, her and her mother, as a healer, knows what's going on. They know about the curse of the forest. They know what happens to the villagers because of this curse, because there's also like some sort of sickness happening. But when the Osmini church comes over to collect their tithe, they don't believe about this monster at all. But then one day something happens where one of their own ends up getting like devoured or torn apart by this monster because that person went into the forest when they warned her not to. They accuse her own mother, and so now, because to save her mother, she ventures into the forest herself to take down this monster, find this monster, take it down, bring the monster back to her village to show to the church that there's actually a monster out there, my mom is innocent, etc. And that's essentially the premise of the story. Once she goes there, of course, she finds out that things are not as they seem and a lot more happens from it. This is the spoiler-free review before I jump into the vlog where we spoil a lot of stuff. But essentially, I definitely like this book way more than I expected. I still, end of the day, gave it like 3 stars just because the premise in the beginning was good, but I felt like as the story progressed, a lot of plot holes were discovered, and it definitely made the book more of a 3-star read. I think that there was a lot of promise to the story and the characters, but some of the delivery was a little lackluster. The romance was supposed to be a very big part of the book, as it's like a sapphic romance. That part was not really seen by me or my friend for most of it until like halfway through the book, and even then we just did not care much for the romance, so there's that. However, that being said though, I felt like the story itself was really fascinating because I there were a lot of things happening in the book that I want to continue. Like I want to find out what was happening. I want to know what was the sickness. I wanted to understand what exactly is this animosity between the church and her people. What is going on? What is this magic? Like I had a lot of questions throughout reading this book, which is why it was still enjoyable to me. That being said though, like I said, I felt like some of the deliveries and the plot holes definitely made the book a little jarring at times, because we would start talking about things, as you will see later in the video, that would just be like, well then why didn't this happen, and like why did this happen, and like we would just start questioning things because some of it just did not make a lot of sense. And I felt like the author, maybe because this is her I think it's her debut, she was trying to fit everything really quickly, so she like missed some spots. I don't know, but that was the general gist that we got from reading this book. I felt like she has definitely potential for being really good for her next book. I just feel like this book, because of some of the issues I mentioned already, just didn't hit like a 5-star read for me. It started off as a 4-star. Like I was like, actually no, the first couple chapters I was a little slow. It was a little slow to get into it, but once I got into it I was like, okay, started off strong, 4-star read, and then halfway through it started to become a 3-star read as we started to discover all these plot holes to it that were like, doesn't really make a lot of sense, and why is the character like this, and why did this happen? And especially the ending felt a little bit rushed as well, just because by the time we got to like 40 pages left, I feel like there was still a lot left of questions that were unanswered. So the last 40 pages were like just a bunch of explanations, and in theory they made sense, but also I felt like they were just there as like, okay, here you go, this is the reasoning, you know, but there was nothing to like prior to that made it seem plausible, if that makes any sense. So anyways, quick little spoiler free review before I jump into the actual reading vlog, because we will be spoiling a lot as we read this book. So I just want to like make sure that people don't go into it, that they will be spoiled, because you have been warned. Anyways, back to the actual reading vlog. Okay, so we just finished 45 minutes of the first book that we're reading, The Maiden and Her Monster, and I finished at 92 pages.
I finished at 88.
Okay, so we're about the same.
Probably like a third, maybe even more than a third.
Probably a third of the book. What are your thoughts so far?
Part 1 was a bit stale for me. I almost DNF'd with part 1 because she was throwing a lot of turns, a lot of characters at my way, and I was like, losing track of all of the people in Malka's life and like their significance. Lots of terms that I don't know, and I wish there was a bit of a glossary so that I could kind of keep track of, because she repeats the terms and I'm kind of like, I don't really know what this means. But now that we're on part 2 and she's met Nimra, I'm feeling a bit better about the pacing of the book. But yeah, part 1.
I mean, I'm glad that you got to part 1 and then you thought about DNFing it, because I got to page like 3 and I considered DNFing. Well, because like you
throughout part 1 I was like, do I want to DNF?
Well, because I just felt like, okay, so at least the writing style, I didn't really have an issue with the flow of the book. My issue was similar to yours, where I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah,
there was so many different characters, so many different terminologies that I'm just not familiar with, and like you said, I think a glossary could be really helpful. I also felt like the characters and like the world building is a little confusing, because I don't necessarily know like where they are.
Yeah,
because they say like it's supposed to be a Jewish folklore situation, but I'm trying to picture in my head like geographically.
Yeah,
like are they in this world, or are they based in a fantasy like similar world to Jewish, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't know.
I think I would have appreciated a little bit more background and context on the conflict between like her people and
the Osmini. Yes, I agree.
Because I know that in the beginning the one character had used a slur against her, but because I didn't really have like the context of why her people are treated differently, I was just kind of, it just said, oh, he used that slur against me, and I thought, I really don't understand. Like, do you have more that you can share on why this is an offensive term for you and your people?
Mm-hmm.
So I want a little bit more background on the people themselves. I think that would have helped me a lot in understanding the dynamic between like why she's so driven to prove herself amongst the Osminis.
Yeah, and also I want to understand like exactly what role do these Paha members,
Yeah,
and why they're even there at this village, and like what is their relationship in all of this. You know, like, and also like how do they even get there considering the forest is right there?
yeah.
Did they just go through it? Like, do they not have to encounter these monsters?
I was also thinking that too, like like what's the proximity? Is there any type of barrier? Because
Exactly.
it seems like people are venturing out, but they suddenly are.
They can't go in.
Yeah,
I'm very confused. So that's why I kind of wish there was like a map here, just for me to like picture exactly where everything is.
Arc problems.
Yeah. but sometimes even with arcs though, sometimes they have a map.
I haven't encountered an arc with a map yet.
I don't know, maybe they don't usually
But
have
yeah,
maps.
a map would be incredibly helpful as well.
Or it's just something, I don't know. But I will say though, I can see why people say that this book is really reminiscent of like the Winter Night trilogy, like Catherine Arden, Naomi Novik, because it does give me that like rich like folklore vibes. The one thing that I thought was really interesting was that they chose a lot of Russian folklore to be like reminiscent of, because Naomi Novik, Catherine Arden, they are both like all Russian folklore writers. So I'm just wondering like what context or like what relationship the Jewish folklore has with the Russian folklore, and I wonder if that plays like a historical aspect, or not historical, but like a background
too.
But I wonder if that plays a background to it, like the Osmani, like maybe they are like Russian. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a reason why this book is supposed to be like similar to those books and those authors. But I don't know, I just don't know enough about because like Hannah Witten, Ava, they're all Russian folklore writers. So yeah, but I am very curious about the Nimra aspect to it. It's supposed to be a sapphic woman. I don't know if you know that. So I'm kind of curious to see like how that romance plays out, because
it's kind of Beauty and the Beast-esque as well.
Well, I'm just trying to picture how she looks, because she's supposed to look half golem, like half stone and half human.
Yeah.
And I'm just picturing like, so what does she really look like?
I think that was also my issue with part one, is that I couldn't really picture what was happening. So when I read a book and I can kind of visualize what I'm reading, that's usually when I'm very into it. I can really like get through it without struggling. But with this, I was going through pages of just kind of reading words and not really like picturing what was happening. So that was kind of my struggle with part one. It's gotten a bit better in part two. I think now it's kind of slowed down. We're concentrated on 3 characters now at this point. And it's just a bit easier to follow than character after character being thrown at me.
Yeah, I also like, the one thing that I'm really curious about is that they mentioned how so many women are the ones that have been affected and killed. Why is it only women? Why is it not men? And also, how come she and her friend were saved by this creature, by Nimra, when the other women weren't?
Yeah.
You know, like why were they chosen to be like, was it just happened to be in proximity of her hut and her little cabin?
Do you think it's because they're not Osmani?
No, everyone that was killed earlier are Yahad.
Yeah.
Like they're all like their people.
Oh.
Because like Chaya, remember?
Oh.
That's like her friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then remember at one part in the book, Nimra was like, oh, like you particular are like unsafe here. Like, aren't you one of the Yahad people?
Oh yeah, I do remember that part.
Yeah. So like, no, it's definitely, and that's why they were really surprised when they saw an Osmani man that was killed in the forest, because
right.
usually it's Yahad people. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Yahad? Yeah. Anyways,
again, glossaries are quite nice for pronunciation.
Yes. But yeah, so I'm just like very curious, like why only women? Why is it only her people? And how come she and her friend happen to be saved? Like there needs to be some like reasoning behind some of these.
I feel like we're getting into a lot of, because we're around the same area and it seems like Nimra is wanting to strike a deal with them. So maybe she'll kind of go into more detail.
Oh, you haven't gone to the part. Okay. The couple pages I'm ahead of you. I guess she think it goes a little bit more into detail.
Wow. But the 4 pages.
No, but like not the back. Oh, actually, it kind of does actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, either way though, like I just have questions. But I will say I'm enjoying this book more than I expected. That's why I also bought so many extra books.
Oh yeah, I was gonna DNF at page 3.
I know. Well, no, to be honest, the other day when I looked at the book and I was flipping through it, I was just like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like the writing style. And then yeah, I started reading it and then I was like, I'm confused. But I also like the fact that each chapter here has
I
this.
like that too. That's a nice little,
but that reminds me of
touch.
Naomi Novik, because her Spinning Silver also had this as well.
I'm kind of neutral about the book overall.
I mean, I'm liking it more than I expected.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm loving it, but I do feel like the writing though is good. I just need more backstory. All right, we're here to do a check-in number 2. We just did another 45 minutes and I'm now on page 182.
177.
We're actually going like pretty close this time.
I'm usually like 20 pages behind.
Yeah, and then like after the 3rd or 4th one, you're like so far behind. No, we're actually going at a good pace right now. What do you think so far?
I'm still very much like, I was thinking this as like right before we wrapped up, is that I'm kind of forgetting that it's sapphic because I'm not really getting a lot of their tension as I'm reading through it. So I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot that this is supposed to be like a romance as well.
Yeah.
So that was my thought.
It's funny that you brought that up because yesterday I was looking up at reviews about it and someone mentioned the same thing. They were like, I forgot it's a sapphic romance. I thought it was gonna be sapphic, but then I was reading it, I never got that like romantic inclination between the two characters.
I also love like enemies to lovers, and that's supposed to be what this is, but I'm not getting, there's like no tension. Like, yeah, I get that they don't like each other, hate each other, but there's not like, they're not butting heads. Like, there really isn't a lot of, maybe I was expecting something a little bit more dramatic, but I'm not getting it.
No, I would agree. I think that I expected a little bit more romantic tension or sexual tension between the two of them. But the thing is, I also feel like the Malka, I don't think she's like has come to a realization that she likes women. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she has not come to terms with that.
Or she's just like not experienced enough. Like, there was that one snippet in the beginning where they talked about pleasure and it was just like a sentence and then it moved on.
Well, the only thing I feel like she knows that she's different is that when Amnon like asked her to marry him, she was like, oh, I don't know if I can give him the love that he desires. So at least she's aware that she doesn't like guys like that, but I don't know if she's aware of her feelings for women in general.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's one of the reasons why we don't feel that tension between the two of them. She's unsure. Like, that's something that she's never experienced before. So, I don't know. But the whole Chaya thing.
But I also feel, not to, like, we can go back to Chaya, but I also feel like if you are unsure, you would like suddenly like experience this like confusion within yourself. And
that's true.
I feel like even if she was unsure about her preference to women, if the end game is for her to end up with Nimra, I'm just not getting the why do I feel like, why am I suddenly feeling this way, and like the confusion of why, like, am I attracted to women, why am I feeling this way towards Nimra? I'm just not getting that. So I don't know.
I will say I'm like 5 pages ahead of you or something like that. There was this one section where I think she's finally starting to feel that way.
Within the 5 pages?
But
it's different.
I'm trying to see, like, it's the part where they were showering or bathing.
Oh, in the water?
Like, yeah, and then
I thought that was, I think Nimra had like a, I see which one.
You know, like there's that one section where Malka was talking about it and it was like they just kind of like stared at each other for a bit. So I wonder if that's the start of perhaps some sort of attraction, but from Malka's side, because there's definitely something else that happened afterward that I was like, oh, that's interesting. Wait, what page are you on again?
177.
Oh, okay, that part where
She's like, would you rather I smell like roses?
No. It's like the chapter right before on 176 where Nimra was like, I'll hate you as much as the shop king hated his deceptive shop queen. But the thing is, he never hated his shop queen or shop wife. It's only ever been besotted with her and loved her more fiercely. And so that was like, I feel like that was my interpretation of like Nimra admitting that she has feelings for Malka. And I think Nimra's just like, huh? I think
they're getting it more from Nimra than you are from Malka.
Yes. But I feel like there's definitely something simmering there now. But from the beginning, I definitely did not feel at all.
Like, I wouldn't even call this a slow burn. Like, nothing is like really burning right now. I think.
I would say nothing was burning, but now I'm starting to get a little inkling.
Yeah.
That there could be something. Because the review that I saw on Goodreads was like, there's nothing, and suddenly they were like together, and I was like, really? But I don't feel like it's that sudden.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like there's something brewing now, especially from Nimra's side of things in the last like 2 chapters. But we're also like what? Like a little more than halfway with the book.
Yeah.
And we're starting to feel something. That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Also the Chaya part.
Yeah, I need more like...
I need to understand exactly what is going
happened.
on. Well, not just that part. Like that Chaya part escaping to find out what's going on. That part I get.
But like, who intercepted the letter?
Yes. Well, no, she said
wrote.
that people were watching her.
But I thought she said she sent a letter.
Yeah, but she said that people were watching her, so I think when she sent the letter, they intercepted it. Because, like, that's why she was like, oh, they're watching me closer than I thought.
Do you think that there were other women that didn't actually die? Like,
no,
is there
because...
a whole conspiracy?
No, because I think that in the beginning, when they talked about the girls who died, they were very much... They seemed like they found the bodies. She said only Chaya's body was never found. So that's why there was a couple times in the earlier the book where she thought she saw Chaya.
Yeah.
So, because she's like, oh, is that Chaya's body? Am I going to see Chaya in this, like, corpse? No. But I think what I'm most curious about Chaya right now is she was like, oh yeah, alluding to this huge plot, this conspiracy. But what is this conspiracy?
Yeah.
I feel like they've had time to talk about this new mission and like saving this guy, but they never... Why didn't they take the time to talk about this conspiracy that Chaya discovered? Because I wonder if that might play a role.
Yeah.
You know? So, and also it's very interesting that the plague is also in the city.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to find out. There's definitely a lot of stuff about this book that I'm kind of like, I need answers.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be just like a 3 for me as of where I am right now. I'm not enjoying it enough where like I DNF, but I'm also kind of like, do I really want to continue? Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. I don't know, I actually am enjoying it now. I think I'm like maybe closer to a 4 for me.
Okay.
But that's just because I have questions that I need answers to. I feel like a 3 would be like
if they go unanswered.
If they go unanswered, or if I didn't care what the answers were. But right now I do care, so I feel like it's a 4. Okay, so we just did our 3rd round of 45 minutes, and I am now on page 285. I'm almost done.
On 263, also almost done.
I mean, you're not that much further than behind. 20 pages or so.
I felt myself slowing down, to be honest.
I actually felt myself picking up because I feel like it was starting to get to all the stuff happening that I was like, I need to know what happens. So I started to read faster, and that's probably why I'm a little more ahead this time.
I think I don't care.
You don't care? Really?
I don't think so. Like, when they finally like gave in to each other, that like brief moment, I wasn't satisfied. I think because I felt like there was no like real tension leading up to the moment, I kind of was just like, okay, it happened, I want to move on.
I mean, I will agree, the romance is not what's keeping me interested in the book. I feel like that's such a sub plot for me.
But I think because it's pushed as romantasy, I expected it to be a bit stronger and have a stronger presence in the book.
Yeah.
And since it's not, think it just kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
From what I expected going into it.
No, I would agree with that. Right now, what's really pushing the book for me is just figuring out. I still feel like we haven't really discovered what the conspiracy is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been alluded, but like nothing has been like explicitly said like this is the conspiracy. So I still want to know what exactly is this conspiracy. What's the reason?
The king and the
and like the prince, and not just that, but the plague. Like, what's behind the plague? Like, that part I'm really curious, because now they're clearly having this whole like narrative that, oh, the plague is from the Yahidi people because the Osmini, they're the ones who are, you know, all sick right now, etc., etc. But that's obviously the case. So I'm wondering like if that's part of the conspiracy, like if there's something that the prince and that Severin guy is doing to cause the plague.
I feel like the underlying theme here is like how much of religion, whatever Severin's religion is, has how much of it plays a part into the politics and the governing of this land. I kind of was thrown off by them introducing like sovereignty like that, like a king and a prince. For some reason, I didn't think that this was a land that was governed that way.
Oh, I feel like they mentioned in the beginning though.
I don't remember, but when they were bringing up the different members of this family, I was just like, oh, there's a king.
That's actually hilarious. Yeah, no, I was that confused by that part. Did you get to the part about Chaya?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Maybe I did, and I glossed
Did you get the part about Danya?
Yes.
Okay, so like she came back. Yes. Okay.
I got to a part where they're just like, your mom is in this prison where she's only allowed to stand.
Okay. I think that's crazy. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just trying to picture, like, it's so like small.
Forever, and like standing there, I'm just imagining like gravity bringing your bones like down on themselves because you're not allowed to move or move around or sit.
Yeah.
So understandably, that is a terrible type of torture.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like right now I just need to understand like where this plague comes from, what exactly is conspiracy, and
are you surprised that with how far we are in the book that it hasn't really been explained yet?
Yes. I'm kind of just like,
so
we are really close to the end.
Are you afraid that it's like this ending is going to be mad rushed?
Well, first that was actually one question I had. Is this a series?
I think it's supposed to be standalone, no?
I don't know, because it kind of gives me the impression that this is a series.
Because of how far we are.
And the fact that we still haven't really sorted out what exactly is the conspiracy. Because we're not far. Like, I'm only, like, there's only, like, 40 or so pages left for me. Like, I just can't imagine these 40 pages be like, this is what the conspiracy is, and we resolved everything, and happily ever after. Like, they just can't.
It is not a series. I will not be picking up the second book. Or if it is a series, yeah, I will not be picking up the second.
Because like I thought this was a standalone, but I'm starting to wonder if this is actually a series.
Did she not mention it at the panel? I swear she said it was standalone.
I don't know. I'm gonna look on Goodreads right now.
I feel like I have been duped.
Because I also thought it was a standalone, but the way how this book is going, and the pace, it definitely feels like, no, it doesn't look like a series. I don't know, I guess the last 40 pages is gonna be super rushed. Or maybe they did mention the conspiracy, but we're just like, it's so like very lately alluded that we haven't figured it out.
I kind of feel like with the tone of the book, they should spend a little bit more time on it, but I don't know.
But they definitely have not gone into the backstory of this plague and like what is going on. That's so weird. Or if it's just supposed to be like, it's a plague and it's just unfortunate, like, just, you know how like things happen.
Yeah,
like how like Black Plague happened or whatever, like Bubonic Plague, like things like that. I feel like maybe it's just like,
so the plague isn't necessarily magic driven.
Yeah,
it's just
but I feel like it's magic driven though. Like I'm getting the impression that there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about the whole Danya and like finding about their town?
I was a little shocked.
I feel like it came out of left field.
It did, because I'm kind of like, okay, the town is now destroyed, but how did she get there safely? Because everyone who has left the town into the I'm assuming you had to go through the forest to get to where they are now. What happened to all of the Rhaegar that are in that forest? Like, would she have not have been like attacked? So yeah, that's kind of where
I just don't understand how. Well, to be honest, I don't even know how Chaya got there safely.
She said that she like escaped with merchants. No.
Yes, but the thing is, like, they still have to go through the forest, and it's a multi-day journey, so they would have to have traveled throughout the nights.
I don't know.
So
maybe
how
someone else controls these Rhaegar that we don't know.
Like, I just feel like there's a lot of loopholes in this book that are not really like plot holes.
Yeah.
You know? Not loopholes, plot holes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like very confused. Like, yeah, how did they survive Danya show up there?
I'm probably going to like speed through this last sprint of ours and then call it a day.
I feel like I just need to know. I definitely feel like it's gotten more of a 3.5 star now.
I think it's still at 3. Like, it just hasn't really been
amazing.
Yeah, it's not bad by any means.
Yeah,
but I feel like I really wanted to be more invested in the characters, but I'm just not.
That's true. I don't think Malka is a very likable character.
Yeah, I think because I'm so character driven when I read, I like don't care if like they end up together or not. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be a 3.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see like if her family gets that, like all survives. Like,
well, no, her sister already died.
No, the rest of them.
Like, you mean Ima?
Yeah, isn't Ima her mom?
Yes, her mom.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she only had like Danya and Hadar as her sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just finished the book, The Maiden and Her Monster. What are your thoughts?
Dumb ending. Man, everything was disappointing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dang. Okay. That's crazy. Is your rating still 3-star?
Yeah. I thought about bringing it down to 2.5.
Dang.
Because I was actually upset that they killed Willem off.
Okay. Yes. His death came out of nowhere.
Like, I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
He
no.
was a very likable side character.
Yes, I agree with that. When that happened, I was like, wait. Why are you suddenly injured? What happened to you?
And then died.
Yeah.
I was just like,
yeah, no, I don't know.
Roll.
What was the point of that one? I agree. That one was really weird. Did you feel like the ending was rushed though?
Well, the explanation that we got for all of the women, like, I thought that was like, I get it, but also dumb. Like, yeah, I felt like the explanation that came out of nowhere.
With Severin?
Not with Severin and the woman.
The woman,
tried to make into
a golem.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was gonna be like way more to it.
Yeah, I felt like, I agree. I feel like the ending was very. It kind of came out of nowhere. There was nothing alluded to the fact that Severin had did something with a woman that he was practicing ages ago.
Yeah.
Because there was no inclination that he was interested in that magic until he took over Nimra as a golem. And that's when I was like, oh.
Also, I completely forgot about the connection that Nimra and oh my god, what is her name? Malka had, because I felt like there was really no like this is what happens when you're magically tied to a person.
Oh, that's true.
Because,
that's true.
Like she severed the roots, and I'm like, okay, what actually did it do? Like, what was so special about being magically connected to each other that you had to like actually sever it? Like, I completely forgot about it until they did it.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that too, because I felt like since they were magically connected from the beginning, I was expecting something to occur, but nothing really occurred. And then it was the point where I was like, I kind of forgot that happened as well.
Yeah, because she was originally tied to Amnon, and then he got injured, and then they were just like,
no, he wasn't. They weren't tied to Amnon at all. He was okay. So
that's what happened. They switched.
No, they switched, but they were never tied yet.
Oh, okay.
They were going to tie it once they got to the edge of the forest.
Oh,
because technically, I think she was able to leave. I mean, to get she was basically able to get to the forest edge.
Oh, without
having to tie to anyone.
She was tied to the tree.
The tree. And because the tree's like roots extended so far out, she was able to travel that far.
Okay.
And then when Amon got injured, that's when they were like, okay, like he was like, oh, so when am I like I'm ready to do that, whatever. And they're like, no, like you're injured, whatever. So yeah, that never happened. But I also felt like because there was no connection really, I don't know what was Malcolm's reasoning for like getting rid of it, and because like, it doesn't do anything.
What would have been like the repercussions if she had connected to Amnon in his injured state? I really don't understand like why it was better for her to root herself to Malka versus.
I think it was because they never had her rooted to a person before, so they didn't know like what could happen, and they didn't want to do it on someone who was injured, especially because he was like on the brink of death.
I would agree with that if there was actually something that happened with the connection, but because like
but we didn't know that in the beginning.
I know, but like hindsight, like, now that I've gone through the book, I felt like it was just, I felt like it was a way to like do forced proximity without doing forced proximity, where it's just like, okay, they have this like connection, but it didn't really do anything.
You know what kind of weirded, the one part that kind of I didn't understand was once Malka like took off the connection, didn't she have to root herself back to someone like Nimra, because she couldn't be rootless forever?
Wasn't Nimra now rooted to Steph?
No, but like before that happened, because they had some time. Like once Malka was like, oh, like get rid of it for me, and Chai did it for her and just removed the connection, Nimra had to be rooted to someone. Like that was the whole thing, how after she got rid of the connection to the Great Oak in the beginning, she had to be rerouted to someone. So how come they didn't have a replacement? They didn't even consider like, hey,
was she not already rooted to Severin at that point?
No.
Could she not be rooted to multiple people?
No,
because it wasn't like the whole thing that she felt betrayed. I think that's why I thought she had already rooted herself to Severin.
Are we reading the same book?
I don't know.
So, okay, Severin happened way later. When Malka got betrayed, it was because her, Nimra, and Chaya decided to use Nimra during that festival, which was weeks after their initial like we're heading back.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason why they stayed late was because Emma and like the town got destroyed, and so they were like, oh, it makes sense, we have to stay later now because Emma is already in the city but she's being held somewhere. So the whole Severin thing didn't happen until like far later. And there was definitely days where they were like, oh, we haven't seen Nimra, like where is she? Those days were when Severin somehow like enticed Nimra using Malka as a reason, so she like he led her to like the tower and then did the rooting thing on her.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I just feel like there's so many plot holes in this book that I didn't like. I feel like there was a lot of promise.
Yeah.
Like the story building was really interesting. I mean, the premise itself.
I feel like if I had known a little bit more about like Jewish folklore, maybe I'd
enjoyed it more.
Not necessarily enjoy it, but I'd understand it a little bit more, and I'd have like some sense of history.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of going in blind, so I think that there were just a lot of details and terminology thrown at me where I didn't have any baseline, so it's a bit tough for me to really get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that was the hurdle for me in the beginning of the book, but I just feel like once I got past that, it was really interesting. I just didn't love all the plot holes in the book, and the execution of the romance was so subpar, even though that should have been like a more of a forefront plot.
Yeah.
So I probably end this book with a 3-star.
Yeah.
It went from 4 to 3. I do think that the author has a lot of potential with books in the future, once like, you know, I guess like more experience writing books.
Yeah.
But I feel like her, because I think the story itself is really fascinating. It's just some of the details weren't thought through. Well, at least we finished it. I really thought we were going to DNF. One of us would DNF this book.
Super close. But I think after our third sprint, when I was like even further behind, like I felt like my pacing, I wasn't able to keep up with you. That's when I was just like, I kind of want to DNF, but I only have this much left.
Oh yeah.
So like, is there a point in me DNF?
Yeah, I feel like at that point you just continue. All right, now that the vlog is over, I want to end it because I forgot to end it in the last clip. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this book if you guys read it. It comes out in September, so next month. But yeah, I feel like she definitely has a lot of great potential. I think if you love other books by like Naomi Novik, Catherine Arden, Ava Reed, then I think you really like this book because it kind of gives you similar vibes, at least for me. But yeah, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. It really help on my channel. And if you like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as hit the notification bell. And as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!